All right, well, welcome to the Forward with Jack Loh show over here. And today we have a recurring guest, and just give us like a brief introduction, like what's in your world and what you're about again. Yeah, just a brief one. Yeah.
Hey gang, my name's Reshi D. I am a full-time UK streamer. I predominantly stream Dota 2, but I look to stream other games on a couple of days of the week. And if I was to describe myself, I'm just a very energetic, positive streamer, and I look to create the best loving community that I can.
Cool. Like actually, like since you play a lot like Dota 2, like maybe eventually I will want to ask you about like Dota 2 stuff because I'm into Dota 2 also. So that would be really cool. But another time actually. So like today's agenda is basically like about like personal growth around there, that kind of stuff. So like the first thing that I like to ask, like passion, like what do you think about like a passion? Like for me personally, like I think that is like to me passion. In order to find what you want to do, like you got to go out and try stuff. Like you got to try stuff before you can figure out like, oh, do I like it or not? Like if you don't try, like that's hard. Like you can't like just brainstorm at home and like meditate and think that, oh, what do I actually like? It doesn't make sense. I think that
That's true.
yeah, for me it's like really going out there and try, which I did not do like most of my life until like recently, like last year. Then I started trying stuff and then figuring out, oh, I actually like this, and just picking up stuff. Like how is it like for you actually, like you navigating through life, and when do you actually like start to find your passion? Because I know that you are quite a versatile kind of person. Like you do video games, you do outside sports and what's not, and you are good in fitness as well. Like wow, like it's just so wonderful. Like how do you get those ingredients, and how do you all started? Yeah.
Yeah, so I completely agree with what you're saying.
Right.
Until you try things in life, you don't know whether you're going to like them, and until you've tried a lot of things, you're not going to figure yourself out. You're not going to see what you kind of enjoy and what are the kind of things that really ain't your cup of tea, let's say. So for me personally, before I got into streaming, like I said, I was going to university. I was trying to do law. Oh yeah, let's get an amazing job with lots of money, blah blah blah. I realized that I found it very dull, very boring, and I was like, you know what, that's not me. I also
Right.
played semi-pro football.
Right.
Yeah, I've worked a lot of different jobs as well. I used to work as
Oh,
a
okay.
lifeguard, as a bartender at a nightclub.
Oh,
I used to work as a waiter at an Italian restaurant. I used to be a football referee as well.
wow.
So like you said, I've done many different jobs. I've tried several things, but I think in terms of what you said with passion, I think when you can say you're passionate about something is
Right.
when you can do that one thing for hours and hours and hours and still love every second of it. Once you get to a point
Right.
where you can do one hobby, one task for absolute hours and still love it, that's when you can say, yo, this is my passion. I have a passion for this. And that's how I felt about streaming. That's how I felt playing my games on stream. I was like, I can do this for 10 hours a day,
Absolutely.
every single day, and I will never get bored of it. So that's when I realized that I have a passion for this. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to pursue. And then it was a decision of, okay, so I clearly don't have a passion for all these other things. I'm not enjoying these other things. They're making me a bit bored, a bit like depressed, knowing that I'm sat here doing them. I was like, do I keep pursuing a path that is not making me happy, or do I pursue a path which makes me happy and I have a passion for, but is ultimately harder? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down the harder path and
Wow.
see what happens. And that's when I decided to really go like full time to streaming and give it everything that I have. And I'm very happy with where I am right now.
Nice. I think it's nice if you can give us like a context, like when did you started like doing all those like jobs like bartender and everything, because I think it will give like a very good context. Like did you started
Okay.
very young, like how the hell, like yeah.
Okay. So the craziest one that I did was the first kind of job that I started doing was actually the bartending, but I was like 15, 16.
Okay.
So that's realistically that's too young because you're supposed to be 18 before you can
Yeah.
handle alcohol at work and sell
Yeah.
alcohol to people. But I was working in a foreign nightclub and they didn't care. They was like, "Oh, this guy doesn't really look 15, 16. He looks okay. Let's get him
Oh,
behind the bar." Yeah. So I did that for about maybe 1 year, 2 year, and at the same time as bartending, I also did two other jobs.
yeah.
I worked as a barista in Costa as well. I forgot to mention that. So Costa is a really
Wow.
popular coffee place. It's like Starbucks, but they're like the UK version. And
Right.
I was working there at the same time as bartending, at the same time as playing football. So imagine this. This was my Saturday.
Wow.
Saturday, I'd wake up at 8 a.m. I
Okay.
would work. I would work as a barista from 8 a.m. till about 4 p.m. or 6 p.m.
Okay.
It's like 10 hours.
Okay.
I would go home, eat, get changed, and I would start bartending at 9 p.m. till 5 a.m. And then I would sleep 3 hours, wake up, go to football match.
What
Um,
the? Oh my
yeah,
God.
so I had a period of my life where I was
What?
extremely busy. I was doing and obviously at this time I was studying at school, trying to pass exams, trying to learn to get to university. So a lot of stuff was going on. This was from age like 16 to age 18. I was working many jobs. I was going to school. I was playing football. I when I was 16, 17, that's when I first like started to also try and go to the gym as well. So many things were going on.
Wow.
And then I did lifeguarding. I did lifeguarding when I was 17, 18, just before university. I did
Right.
about half a year of lifeguarding. So yeah, I
Yeah.
worked in a lot of different places. I think
Okay.
right before university as well, 17, 18. That's when I was like lifeguarding and working as at the Italian restaurant as a waiter. So these are the years that I really experimented and I
Right.
was working lots of different jobs. And the reason I was working all these jobs is because I had so many things to pay for, to sustain myself, everything.
Right.
And then I went to university when I was 18 and did law. And that's when I stopped working all the jobs because when you're doing a degree, you need to focus on it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was
Definitely.
playing semi-pro football, playing for the university team and just trying to study. But unfortunately, I absolutely hated my degree. And
Oh.
that's when I quit in my second year. At the end of my
Mm-hmm.
second year, I quit university. I had one more year to go, but I was like, I cannot, I cannot. I value my happiness too much, and I need to be doing something that I have a passion
Wow.
for and that I. So
That's fucking
yes,
insane. I wouldn't
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't dare to do that like 2 years in and then like just one more year in and then you get it. Like wow, that move, like what was like the electricity or what was like the spark that make you do that? Like you really prioritize your happiness. Is there something that like you look up to, or like your parents influence, or you feel like it's like a DNA circumstances that make you have that sort of like decision making that like yo, this is not that something that I do not want to do and I should prioritize my happiness, like because I don't think that's common, like 2 years
No,
in,
no.
yeah, that's like crazy to me actually.
I would say it comes down to the biggest thing would be just my own mentality. It would probably be the way I see life and the way I approach stuff. So I think I can, if I want to, I can become successful in whatever I set my mind to, however hard it is. So the real question is, what makes me happy and what doesn't? So what I was currently doing was completely making me unhappy, and I
Right.
knew the problems with me quitting. Obviously, my parents are very like Eastern European. They're like, you need university, you need degree. If you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
degree, you are nothing, bro.
Isn't
Like
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I know I was lots of money was being wasted. 2 years was being wasted, but I was like, this is how much I care about my own happiness, and this is how much I care about what I want to do with my life and what direction I want to be going. So that's when I made the decision. I just said, look, no, I don't care. I know it's one more year. No, no, no. Let's not waste more money. Let's not be unhappy for one more year. Let's go and do something that makes us happy, even if it's super, super hard. So that's when I decided to quit university and try and really focus on streaming. And that's when I also started working a little bit as a lifeguard again because I needed a little bit of money to live.
Right,
Um,
right.
But yeah, it was a big decision, very, very hard decision, but I think it was definitely the right thing to do.
Wow, that's crazy. Like fast forward today, like what is like the stuff that you are currently doing? So you say like lifeguard, there's a streaming thing, you're doing semi-pro football. So how is like the life right now? Like the entire like yeah, what's the things that's up right now?
Okay, so I don't actually work as a lifeguard. I don't do any part-time job because in the last few months of streaming, the last 3, 4, maybe 5 months of streaming, I've been getting enough to like survive and look after
Congrats,
myself.
nice.
So that's what I was like, nice. The thing that I love, the thing that I have a passion for, I can now do full time. So that's what I said. Look, no more part-time job. I was even gonna do like a job as an insurance seller, making a lot of
Okay,
money. I would have made
okay.
maybe
My friend is
50
doing
to
something
sixty
like this.
thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna be making like 50, 60,000 pounds a year, which is really good money. But I was like, no, I'm gonna do the thing that doesn't give me much money, but I absolutely love, and it's relaxed. I'm my own boss. I work when I want. If I want to take some time off to see friends and family, I can. I was like, I would really enjoy doing this. I just know myself, and I know I like to be like my own boss, and I like to work in a job where there's no limit. There's no the sky's the limit. There's not someone who's gonna say you get 30,000 no matter how hard you work. I like it to be the harder you work, the more you can make, and that's how it is with streaming and this industry. The better
Right.
you are, the harder you work, the more effort you put in. You can get more and more and more, and I love that. I love that concept.
Right. It's just such a entrepreneur kind of like a feeling or whatnot. And it made me think back, like what was like actually the thing that like got you into like going for like doing the bartending job and whatnot during like your 16. You did mention a bit about like it was to get yourself money and whatnot, but what exact situation is that? Like me, like on my 16, I won't actually like be that crazy, like such a workaholic kind of like a feeling. I don't know, like you're like it's just insane to me. Yeah, like what was like the thing that actually make you really go down and do a job? Like everyone wants to chill, everyone wants to just play around, fool around. That's what I see. But you going on the job and like I think it started from there, like the work ethics and everything. It just carry forward throughout your entire life, and then you having this sort of like entrepreneur feeling that you have like right now, like saying that oh I want to do this and that, like yeah. So what was like a thing actually, like thinking
I
back actually?
think it was mainly like a necessity. So in the UK, when you're 16, you are legally old enough to start working. And my parents were like, "You can work, so go work. Like, we're not going to give you any. We're not going to pay for your stuff anymore." So it was like, okay, I'm at the age where I'm about to learn how to drive. Then I'm going to need a car. Then I'm going to need insurance for the car. Then I'm going to need clothes. Then I'm going to need to see my friends. If I have a girlfriend, they're going to pay for some stuff there. So it was like there's so many things that I need money for. So honestly, I would have liked to just focus on my studies, chill, play football, but it was I needed to because my parents were not going to like just sustain me so much anymore. So they were like, okay, we'll obviously still buy food for the house, and we'll maybe pay for your phone bill or something, but everything else you do. So then I was like, okay, I need more than one job to make the money. So I'd work that, and I needed to be honest. But I have to say, working those jobs definitely taught me many skills, and
Yeah, it's crazy.
it was good to socialize. I guess you meet new people in these jobs, you make new friends, you learn good skills from a young age. So it wasn't all too bad. So yeah, I think if I had the opportunity to just chill and relax, I probably would have, but I
Yeah,
couldn't. I needed to
yeah.
work and get the money.
Yeah, I think got to be very thankful of like your circumstances, like what you went through actually, like over there. And I feel like carry on forward, like it make you the person that you are today. And it's just
Hmm.
so wonderful. So yeah, like I just love like your passion thing. That's why I'm hopping on too long over here. But the next thing is like talking about like judgment, like we play Dota 2. I guess we know. I don't know about like your server, but C server is like pretty toxic.
Toxic as hell,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's so
So
toxic over there.
how I think this will be like a perfect topic to actually talk about. How do you actually handle like judgment from others? Like let's have like context based on like Dota actually. Like so much like so much toxic. Like I don't know, I just got to mute them, like most of them, to be able to like play properly and like focus on my game and what's not. Like, what do you think about those? Like, how do you actually deal with that? Then how do you think like a normal person should behave to as like a normal behavior? What do you think about it? Yeah.
So I think let's talk about judgment from others in general, because
Yeah,
people judge
I think
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere we go, man. So for myself, what I do, or over here in the UK, like streaming in general or streaming full time is not something people are accustomed to. They're like, "What the hell? What is that? Like, what are you doing? You play games for a living? What?" They find this strange, right? So obviously, I've got people judging me left, right, and center, and I think the hardest thing for me was the people closest to me really judged me the hardest as well. Like
Right.
my girlfriend didn't like what I was doing. She thought it was a waste of time. She thought it was an addiction. Same with my parents. They were like, "You're wasting time. What are you doing? Go do something real. Go finish the degree." So I was being judged by everybody. Obviously, even when you start streaming, you get judged by people who are watching. "Oh, I think you should do this. Why are you not doing this? Oh, blah blah blah." So they kind of are judging you and your stream, and they start to tell you how you should do things, and you experience it everywhere. And I think the way I deal with it personally
Right.
is I have never once let someone else's opinion or judgment affect me, because it's my life, it's my path, and if I am happy with the person that I am,
Right.
my morals, how I present myself, and with what I'm doing, then that's what matters. If I'm happy, then whatever these people say about me does not matter to me. It will not change me. And I think people struggle in life when they let these external people with their like negative judgments affect them. That's when
Right.
people start to feel down and depressed. Oh, these people are against me. Just hold
Yeah.
your head up high and just look after yourself, your life, and do what you want to do going forward. I think that would be my best piece of advice for anybody who's receiving
Nice.
judgment from others. And if we're going to link it back to Dota,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the Dota is a bit different. It's a really competitive game. Everybody wants to win, but everybody's got a different
So
way
true.
to win. Everybody sees the game differently. There's like there's not really that many right answers. Everything can be done in a different way. So
I
it's
like
so
how you
hard for
describe
everybody.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many different paths to like victory, success in the game, and everybody perceives that particular game in a different way. So that's why there's so many people arguing. There's so many people clashing their ideas. Like, no, you should do this. No, you should do this. At the end of the day, that's never gonna go. I don't think that's how competitive the game is. However, I think people should try and be a little bit more forgiving on the game. If that was the one thing that I want to see, is that some people are more forgiving. Even myself, man, I may seem like super positive and like happy, man. Even I get very angry when I play that game with some people, like the people who like feed or like
Yeah.
delete items, or they just like it's hard. They ruin what you're trying to do. You are trying to win, you are trying to climb, and they are
Yeah.
directly ruining it and wasting the time. So it's hard not to get angry sometimes.
Yeah.
I think when people are being judgmental, just stick to yourself, stick to your ideas, be the person that you want to be, and then you should be happy. Don't worry about anything
Right.
else. That would
Right.
be my advice.
Definitely, definitely. And like I think you did mention a lot like of like being yourself, like stick to what you are good at and what's not. That's the basically like the next question that I like to ask, because I think being yourself, it's like one of like the hardest thing. Like I don't know, like for me at least, it's like one of like the hardest thing, because I personally like grew up as being like an introvert and like a soft-spoken kind of a person, and I find that like I always thought it as like a weakness, like because being soft-spoken, I feel like it's like a DNA kind of a thing or circumstances. I don't actually freaking know, but I feel like recently then I discovered that I should actually treat it as like a strength, like I'm this person. I should recognize that, I'm this, so this is me,
Mhm,
and I should say that I should double down like onto that. Like if I'm like
mhm.
to context to Dota, like if like I'm a good core player, I double down on that. I don't focus anything else, like actually just focusing on like what I'm good at and what's not, because I think that I have like very bad association with like me being like a soft spoken person, because like people will always like kind of ask me, "Yo, Jack, why are you so quiet? Like we're like having a party gathering, why are you so quiet?" Then I thought this process as like being a negative, like I shouldn't be quiet, I shouldn't be this or whatsoever, and I think that impacted me. But recently I found out that I should be happy that I'm this is me, accept me,
Mm-hmm.
and do behave like more like this way. And like I just feel like becoming like being more accepting to who you are as a person. It's like a super good move. That's like a micro moment for me as for now. But for you, like what is like the thing about like you think about like being yourself? How important do you think it is? Like I think it's like one of like the biggest move that people should take. Like it's so important actually. Yeah.
Honestly, I completely agree with what you said. It is so important to be yourself, seriously, in all aspects of life. You were right. We are who we are for a reason, man. We all grew up in different ways. We all came from different backgrounds. We all had different social groups of friends and stuff, and it's shaped us to be who we are. And we should never feel bad about who we are because
Right.
we are that person for a reason. So it's what you said. It's about really, okay, I am who I am. Let me try and think about what my strengths are and what my weaknesses are. So obviously your strengths, yeah, double down on them. Like you're good at something because you're good at it. So go and chase that. Use those strengths, turn it into something positive. Your weaknesses, if you want to work on your weaknesses, then go ahead. Like, like you said, for yourself, if you
Right.
feel like one of your weaknesses was speaking more and speaking out loud, getting
Right.
involved
Right.
with people, then that's something you can choose to work on. And I mean, what you're doing right now technically is that, right?
Right.
So it's like almost you're working on weaknesses and developing the strengths, which is awesome. It means you are self-developing. And in
Right.
terms of being yourself, like for me, for example,
Right.
a lot of people say to me like, yo bro, like let's say off stream, a lot of people speak to me off stream,
Yeah.
or they
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
this, they have a little video call, they speak to me, they're like, whoa bro, I didn't expect you to be like yourself, like genuine, like I didn't expect it, I was so crazy. I was like, well man, I know what I do is you got to put on a show and everything, but it's who I am. I'm not being someone completely different on stream, and when I turn the stream off, I'm some angry guy that hates everyone. No, no, no. Do you know what I mean? I'm the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
guy on stream as the same
Yeah.
guy I am off stream, and that's how you should be. It makes it so much easier for you to live your life when you know that when you embrace yourself and you're very happy with exactly who you are. I think it's so important to just stick to you being yourself and not trying to be someone that you're not. Don't try and copy anyone else because society thinks that you should. Be happy with yourself, be happy with your image, be happy with who you are, and just go forward like that.
Definitely, like especially when like someone like you who is like a streamer is like even more important for you to be yourself, because you don't want to like fake up like a persona or what's not during streams, and like when you get off stream you behave like a different person. Like it just feel yikes if you kind of like fake up like a persona or what's not, be a very nice guy or what's not. Yeah. So another thing that I like to jump into personal growth, like because I think that like you did mention a lot about like how you grow since from like a very young or whatnot. But for me, I feel like me going on like I think I spent the past month on Twitch recently, and I feel like wow, this is like a good platform for me, because I feel like I'm trying to practice to be myself. And I don't know, it just accommodates me as like a soft-spoken kind of person. I don't need to be super active and move around so much as in real life, because I am just talking towards the mic, and it's just so easy for me. And so far I'm just loving it because I'm trying to be myself, and that's for me right now. I hope like I in a as times goes by, I pick up new skills, new things, and new connections especially. And I'm just looking forward for now. Yeah. But for you, how is your personal growth like going so far? Yeah.
Yeah, I think personal growth is one of the most crucial things in our lives, man. Like, you know when someone says, "Oh God, you're not the same person that you were a year ago." Yeah, good. I
Yeah.
shouldn't be the same person that I was a year ago, because we should be constantly growing, learning from mistakes, becoming better people. But for me, personal growth is one of the most important things, man, because
Right.
not only do I want to, like you said, pick up new skills, improve skills, do better things,
Right.
but I actually want to constantly grow as a person. I think it's so important, man, to just work on like all your weaknesses as a person, try and just become better all around. Like for me, if I was to just be completely honest, one of my weaknesses that sometimes I'm very hot headed. Like I said, when I'm very chill, but when I get mad, I get mad. I get very
Right.
mad. And it's like, okay, I recognize that. Let's try and work on that. Let's try and work on ways not to get to that point. Once we do get to that point, let's work on ways I'm chilling now. It's like constantly growing. And then the more you do a certain thing, so the more you work in this industry, like you said, the more time you're going to spend doing this, the more time you're going to do what you're doing on Twitch. You just
Right.
learn from mistakes, and you constantly look to grow, and you change as a person during the process. And I think it's the most amazing aspect of life, man. Seeing yourself
Right.
grow in a positive way, seeing yourself really outshine yourself more and more and more as time goes by. I
Yeah.
think it's a very beautiful aspect of our lives, man. And I always embrace my personal growth.
Right, definitely. I think that you mentioned about like learning. I think that in order to actually do that, like you got to have like an open mind, like be open-minded that yo, I recognize that I fucked up here, so I'm gonna like improve on that certain aspect. Like I just love that. Like you recognizing like your vulnerabilities, I think that's like a huge move because like you're letting your ego down and to like embrace it and like get better and what's not and grow, and I just love that.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the last topic actually, I forgot about this, is about like relationship, like how do you actually like you did mention about like a bit of like how you like have like a time like not having like a good time with like your girlfriend because like you do this Dota thing and what's not. And yeah, how do you actually like balance the time, doing what you love and as well as like spending time with like the close ones and what's not? Because I feel like for me, like I think that I still need to think about it, like how much time I should spend with my family and my friends. And for me, like being an introvert, like I don't have many friends, so it's easy for me to stay connected and what's not because it's just a few of them. So I think I'm doing like pretty okay in terms of job. I think I could have get better. I think I work too much sometimes actually. Yeah. Yeah. How is it for
Okay,
you? Yeah.
so I kind of can relate to what you're saying because although like at school I was like popular and I had friends and stuff. With what I do, I spend most of my time indoors, right? So I'm working so much. I put so many hours into it. I'm not really going out and seeing many people, which I guess is okay because it's the job that I've chosen. I'm okay with that. Well, I think one thing that people need to realize, I think we prioritize the things that are most important to us, we will always prioritize. Even if you're working a job where you have to put many hours in, if you ask, let's say you do have a girlfriend, then it's someone that you absolutely adore. You will naturally prioritize them. You will try and make as much time and dedicate it to them as you can. For you, like you said, it's family and friends. Well, family and friends are important, and you always will need that social aspect.
Right.
So as much time as much as we can spend so many hours behind our screens working hard at what we do, just taking a bit of time out and spending it with the people that are closest to us, the people we care about the most, the people we love, is actually so good for us mentally as well. You need that social aspect, and it really helps you stay focused on what you do. Honestly, I think sometimes taking a little break, seeing your family, seeing whoever else is really important to you in your life, helps you feel happy. It fulfills your social needs, and then you can come back to your work and work harder than ever. I've myself
Right.
took breaks in the past like that, and it's helped me huge. So I think keeping positive relationships with people is very, very important. And I think
Definitely.
balancing it, how much you dedicate to each person is completely going to be down to you and how much you think you
Right.
can. But like I said, if someone is that important, you will always prioritize them.
Definitely, definitely. I think that like there's no right for everyone, like there's no universal right for everyone. There's what
Mhm.
right for you, and I like how you actually mentioned about it. That's only right for you, and if you feel good, and in terms of like your priorities, like down the list, like who you prioritize the most, and just do that. And just have fun. Sometimes take a time out, take a step back. It's always like nice to take a step back because it refreshes the mind, and then you have much more clarity towards doing things. And I just love that. And so that's the end for this show. I thank you so much doing this thing together. Like I hope that we can do something like this again, like maybe talk about Dota content or what's not. We kind of like talk about whatever over here, and I hope you have a fun one over here.
Yeah, whenever, like, yeah, I enjoy this a lot, man. So whenever you want to talk about any topic, man, holler at me, and yeah, I'm more than happy to do this again.
All right, cool. So with that, thank you guys for tuning to this show. This is your Forward with Jack Loh show.